I've been going camping for years. I've never taken the time to learn a few simple camping knots to get me out of trouble or to make my life a little bit easier. So the past week or so I've given myself a bit of training and I've learned a few. This one I struggled to get my head round for some reason. I don't know why. Sometimes you get things and sometimes you don't. They're more difficult, but once you've got it, you've got it. So you take this end, what they call a working end, I think, and you put him over the top and make a loop. And then you get your working end and you push it through the hole. Now at this point you haven't actually created any knot or anything at all. It's not tied together, so you let go and it all falls apart. Let's do that again. So you put your two pieces together like that. You push that through your hole, and then you take this piece here and you just wrap him round this main piece at the back. And then pull him tight. And you've created yourself a nice secure loop. The great thing about this is when you finish with it, you just pull on that one and the whole thing will easily come apart. And today I thought I'd just come out and try them out in a real world situation, get a bit of practice in. There's hundreds of knots you can learn, but I only needed a few. A loop, some way to hitch onto something. For this one you take your paracord. I like to have a nice long piece of paracord spare, and I'll show you why in just a second. You put your thumb on there to hold him, wrap him round once, cross him over, bring him underneath. You get this piece, the working end, and you stick him through the middle of the X. Pull him tight. You've now created your knot, but as you can see, he could slip. So you bring the bottom round and just create a little loop in there and pull him tight. I haven't quite left enough on this one. It's easily rectified. What we can do, we can loosen him off a bit, pull a bit more through, pull him tight, bring him back underneath, and then just create a little loop through there and pull him tight, and that will lock on, and I can't see that going anywhere in normal use. If he is a bit slack, just push him harder, tighten him up a bit more, like so. Push him up a bit tighter. Now he's not going to go anywhere. The harder you pull, the more this will bind on. And when you finish with him, you pull on there and he'll easily come undone. Of course, there's another way of doing this. You create two loops like so. You get your loop on the right there, you put it over the top of that one, you put him over whatever you want to tie it to, and you pull him tight. That's the basic knot created, and remember, if you want to make him a little bit more secure, you've got to make your loop. Again, I haven't put enough through there, but it's easily adjustable. So that covers a lot of my basic needs. I should have bought a slightly bigger carabiner along with me, I think. So I can get them on there. Maybe I'll bring a bigger carabiner next time. I'm struggling to get him over my back. I think he'll do it. Well, as I'm not 1 foot high, my bag's a bit low. It's easily adjusted. I guess that's the beauty of learning just a few knots. I brought along a tarp with me as well, so I'm going to put that up. The 5 knots that I learnt are really simple. Anybody could do them. Now I know they won't cover every single situation for me, but as a foundation stone, I think they'll work really well. You take your first piece of paracord and you create a number 6. And the important thing to remember is that with this number 6, the top arm, or the top piece of the 6, the bit coming down, goes on top of the eye. So if you can see that there. The next piece, you create a 9. So the eye's at the top with the long piece coming down at the back. You put your 6 on top of your 9 and then you just fold the ends over like tying a knot. So that piece goes through there, this piece wraps up underneath and goes through there, and you pull them tight. And you've just created a really strong knot that's not going to come apart. The harder you pull, the more it grips together. And the great thing about this is, if you just give it a little wiggle, it easily comes apart when you're finished. Great knot for tying 2 pieces of paracord. That was easy enough. I've always been a person to rely on lots of clips and lots of gadgets and bits. And it's nice to actually learn a skill which will help me without the use of anything else. Take your working end, you're putting around your anchor point. Create a letter L. Just like so. You wrap him around your top string twice, so that's 2 over. And then you bring him under, wrap him up underneath, and then create a loop or a bite or whatever you want to call it. Push him through the back and pull him tight. And you're good to go. To adjust him, just slacken off, move him. Same thing for tightening up. Give it some slack, move your knot along. Harder you pull, the more you'll tension together. And the great thing about this is, when you finish with him, you pull the loop and he'll easily come apart. I'm actually pleasantly surprised how well this is done, and how simple and easy it's been to do. Now I know there's going to be plenty of room for improvement, but as a basis and a starting point, I think these 5 knots will serve me well. So a bit of tree falling off there. Take a loop of paracord, wrap him around 3 times. And then pull him through. Tidy it all up. Get some tension on there. With a bit of tension, it should grip on nicely. The thing to remember is to use a smaller piece of paracord or string for your loop than what you've got for your main line, and that way it'll bite down a lot better. I went through my tarp collection this morning, decided to bring out the DD Hammocks Super Light. This is a small version. When the wind blows, bits of tree clatters. I thought this one would be the most suitable today, because I only want to just try this out really and see how well I can get on out in the wild, so to speak. I've got quite a few tarps and I don't use them enough, so maybe this year with my new knowledge I'll get out a little bit more. It's amazing how ungainly a tarp is with a little bit of wind, especially these super light ones. Blow all over the place. It's nice to learn a few simple skills to make life easier when I go out camping, but I don't think they'll totally replace little carabiners and bits and pieces. For me, it's to be used as an accompaniment, as a mainstay, I guess, and with the backup of simple little clips to make my life easier. I know I could have probably staked all this out a little bit better, but for the purposes of what I wanted to do today, I think that's pretty good. So there you have it, 5 knots that are super easy to learn and quick to do. Bowline to make a useful loop, cow hitch to keep things together, zeppelin or 69 knot to join 2 pieces of paracord, taut line hitch to get some tension on your ridge line. Hello. He's decided to come away from his pegs. I'll have to go and find them in a minute. And finally, last but not least, we've got the Persic knot to help you connect your tarps and get some tension on them. There's one peg, so the other one's got to be just over here somewhere. Was that him? Yeah. Oh, I got lucky. If you've enjoyed this video, say hi in the comments.